Once upon a time there was a king who planted a flower garden behind his palace as a place to walk and have fun. In that flower garden there is an apple tree with golden fruit. When the apple was about to ripen, the king sent someone to count the number of apples, but the next morning there was one apple missing. Knowing that, the king ordered the tree to be guarded every night. The king has 3 princes. The eldest prince must watch the first day. Late at night the prince could not resist the urge to sleep. The next morning there was another apple missing. The second prince watched the next night, but things did not get any better. When the clock struck 12, the prince fell asleep, and the next morning he was missing an apple. The third day was the youngest prince and number 39's turn. The prince wanted to go, but the king did not believe him, thinking that he was not as good as his 2 brothers, but in the end the king let him go and look after the trees. He lay right under the tree and tried to stay awake. When the clock struck 12 there was a rustling sound in the air. Looking through the moonlight, the prince saw a bird with golden feathers fly to the tree and peck at an apple. The prince raised his bow and shot. The arrow hit a wing feather and the feather fell down. He picked up and kept the feather. The next morning the prince showed it to the king and told what he saw. The king summoned his officials to discuss. The gods believed that the golden feather was more valuable than a kingdom. The king said, "If the feather is so precious, then I not only want one, but also the whole bird." The eldest prince considered himself a smart and talented person and immediately set out to find that bird. After walking some distance, he saw a fox at the edge of the forest. He raised his gun to aim and shoot the fox. The fox said, "Don and number 39. Shoot me, I and number 39. I'll give you some advice. You and number 39. On the right path to the yellow bird. Tonight you will go to a village where there are 2 inns located opposite each other. An inn has bright lights and people coming in and out bustlingly. Don and number 39. Go into that shop. Go to the shop opposite, even though it doesn't and #39. Look very appealing from the outside." The prince thought to himself, "How can an animal that often jokes around give serious advice?" So he pressed the trigger. He missed. The fox curled its tail and ran straight into the forest. He continued on his way and reached the village when night was falling. The 2 inns are located opposite each other. One shop is full of singing and dancing, the other seems desolate. The prince thought, "If I ignore the good inn and stay in a shabby inn, I would be a fool." So he entered the bustling inn to enjoy himself and forget about finding the golden bird and his father and number 39's advice. Time passed and the eldest son did not return, so the second son set out to find the golden bird. Like the eldest brother, he also met the fox, who advised him with good intentions, but he did not pay attention. He came to a place where there were 2 inns. The eldest brother was standing by the window of the inn when the noise came out and saw him and called in. He entered that inn to eat, drink and have fun to his heart and number 39's content. Some time passed, the youngest prince asked to try his hand, but the king did not allow it. The king said, "It and number 39's just a waste of effort. I can and number 39's compete with my 2 brothers, so I have no hope of finding the golden bird. When I encounter difficulties, I Don and number 39's know how to cope. I and number 39's am not smart enough to do that." The youngest son kept begging to leave his father alone, so in the end the king agreed to let him go. The prince met a fox at the edge of the forest, who begged him to spare his life and gave him good advice. The youngest prince is a kind person. He said, "Dear fox, Don and number 39. T worry, I won and number 39. T harm you." The fox said, "You won and number 39. T regret it. Please ride my tail and go there quickly." As soon as the prince sat on the fox and number 39's tail, the fox immediately ran over thorn bushes and rocks. The wind blew the fox and number 39's fur up. When the two reached a village, the prince got down. Following the fox and number 39's advice, the prince entered a shabby inn and slept peacefully the night there. The next morning, the prince went to the fields and saw the fox, who said, "Now I tell you what you must do. Just keep going straight and you will come to a castle with a group of soldiers sleeping and snoring. Don and number 39, pay attention to that. Just go straight into the castle, go through many rooms, then come to a room with a bird cage hanging inside. In the cage there is a yellow bird. Next to it there is a beautifully decorated golden cage, but it is empty. You need to remember, Don and number 39. Take the golden bird in the cage and put it in a golden cage. Doing so will put you in danger." After that, the prince sat on the fox and number 39's tail, and the fox immediately ran through the thorn bushes and rocks, and the wind blew the fox and number 39's fur up. When the two arrived at the castle, everything was as the fox said. The prince went to the room with a wooden cage holding a golden bird. Next to it was a golden cage. Golden apples are everywhere in the room. He thought, and quote, it would be unreasonable to leave the golden bird in an ordinary, ugly cage. And quote, he opened the cage door, caught the bird and put it in the golden cage. Immediately the yellow bird cried loudly. The soldiers woke up, rushed to arrest him, and put him in prison. The next morning, the prince was taken to court. He admitted everything and was sentenced to death. But the king of that country said he could forgive him on one condition, if he brought the king a golden horse that could run faster than the wind. The king will reward him with a golden bird. The prince sadly sighed and went on his way, because where could he find the golden horse? At that moment, he met his fox friend again, sitting on the side of the road. The fox said, "You see. You didn't and hash 39. Listen to me. That and number 39. Sy. Be brave. I will help you find the golden horse. Just keep going straight and you and number 39 reach a castle. In the castle stables there is a golden horse. The horse herders lay right in front of the stable door, but they were fast asleep and snoring. You can quietly lead the golden horse out. But you must pay attention to one thing. Only put the wooden and leather saddle on the horse and number 39's back. If you take the golden saddle hanging next to it, you will be in danger." The tail spread out, the prince sat on it, the fox immediately ran through the thorn bushes and rocks. The wind blew the fox and number 39's fur up. When the two arrived, everything was as the fox said. The prince entered the stable with the golden horse and was about to put the old saddle on the horse and number 39's back when he thought, what a shame it would be if the golden horse didn't and hash 39 have a beautiful saddle. He had just put the saddle on the horse when the horse neighed loudly. The horseman woke up and rushed to arrest him and put him in prison. The next morning, the prince was brought before the court and sentenced to death. But the king will spare him the death penalty and give him the golden horse on the condition that he must bring the beautiful princess out of the golden palace here. The prince set out, his heart heavy with anxiety. Fortunately, he met his loyal fox friend again. The fox said, "I originally wanted you to suffer some hardship, but I love you very much, so I am willing to help you in times of difficulty. That road goes straight to the Golden Palace. He will arrive around dusk. No matter how quiet it is late at night, the princess will go into the bathroom to take a bath. Wait until the princess enters the bathroom, then walk up and kiss her. She will follow you. He could take her away, but he wouldn't and #39. Let her come say goodbye to her parents, because that would put him in danger." The fox and number 39's tail stretched out, and the prince sat on it. The fox immediately ran through the forest and over the mountains. The wind blew the fox and number 39's fur up. When he arrived at the Golden Palace, everything was as the fox said. The prince waited until midnight, when the whole palace was quiet and sleep. The beautiful princess went into the bathtub. The prince came to hug and kiss her. She said she would happily follow him, but begged him to come and say goodbye to her parents before leaving. At first he refused, she cried, then knelt at her feet to beg, and finally he agreed. As soon as the princess arrived at the king and queen and number 39's bed, the whole palace woke up. The prince was immediately arrested and imprisoned. The next morning the king told the youngest son, "You deserve death. But if within 8 days you can move the mountain that obscures the view from the window. If you can do it, I will reward you by giving you my daughter in marriage." The prince immediately started working. He dug and shoveled continuously. But after 7 days he had only done a little that looked insignificant. The prince was sad and depressed and lost all hope. Saturday night the fox came and said, "You can and number 39's do much. Let me do it for you. Go lie down and rest." The next morning, when the prince woke up, he looked through the window and saw that the mountain had disappeared. The prince was very happy. The elephant told the king that he had finished his work and asked the king, whether he liked it or not, to keep his promise and marry the princess to him. The prince and princess went together, and soon the loyal fox also joined the group. The fox said, "You got your wish, but the golden horse belongs to the princess." The prince asked, "So what to do now?" The fox replied, "Let me tell you that clearly. Please take that beautiful girl to the king who sent you to the Golden Palace." It was an indescribable joy. "They will be ready to bring before you the golden horse. Jump on your horse right away, then shake hands with everyone and shake hands with the princess." Taking advantage of the handshake, he pulled the princess onto the horse and rode away, the horse galloping faster than the wind. Everything is perfect. The prince and beautiful princess rode on golden horses. The fox also ran with them. The fox said, "Now I will help you win the golden bird. When you get close to the palace with the golden bird, let the princess dismount and wait outside with me." Then he rode his horse into the palace. The people in the palace were happy to welcome him and took out the golden bird and gave it to him. Holding the bird cage in his hand, he immediately turned his horse and rushed out to pick up the princess. The plan has been completed. Before the prince returned home with the princess and the golden bird, the fox said, "Now it and number 39's time for you to repay me." "So what do you want?" the prince asked. The fox replied, "When you reach the forest, shoot me dead, then cut off my head and legs." The prince said, "Is that a way of saying thank you?" "We can and number 39's do that to foxes. If you Don and number 39's want to do it, that and number 39's fine. Now we part ways. I give you 2 pieces of advice. Don and number 39's pay a ransom for a hanged criminal. Don and number 39's sit at the edge of a well." Having finished speaking, the fox ran straight into the forest. The prince thought, "What a strange animal. There was a time when a family would pay a ransom for a hanged criminal. I never wanted to sit by the well again." He and the beautiful girl set out. On the way they came to a village, where his 2 brothers stopped. In the village, everyone was whispering. When he asked, he knew that 2 people were about to be hanged. When he got closer, he realized that they were his 2 brothers. They did all kinds of evil deceit, and then spent it all. He asked if there was any way to save those 2 people. The crowd said, "If you bring money to atone for their sins, what is the use of spending money to save evil people?" The youngest prince gave the ransom without thinking. The 2 brothers were released. Everyone set off together. They arrived at the edge of the forest, where they first met the fox. The sun was scorching, but it was pleasantly cool in the forest. The 2 brothers said, "Let and number 39's rest and sit by the well to eat and drink a little." The prince forgot the fox and number 39's instructions. He did not think about the evil that could happen, and sat by the well. The 2 brothers rushed forward and pushed him down into the well. The 2 older brothers brought the golden bird and golden horse and brought the princess back to hand over to her father, the king. They said, "We not only brought back the golden bird, but also the golden horse and the princess from the golden castle. Those are the things we won." The king was very happy, but the horses did not eat grass, the birds did not sing, and the princess sat crying. The youngest prince fell into the well, but the well dried up, leaving only mud, so he was unharmed. It and number 39's just that he could n and hash 39's get out of the well. At a difficult time, the fox came, jumped down and blamed him for not heeding its advice. The fox said, "I can and number 39's leave you like this. I will help you get out of the well." It told him to hold on to its tail, then it pulled him out of the well. The fox said, "You haven and number 39's escaped yet." The 2 brothers did not know whether he was dead or not, so they sent someone to guard the forest. If they caught sight of him, they would kill him immediately. At that time, there was a poor old man sitting on the side of the road. The prince exchanged clothes with the old man. With disguised clothes, the youngest prince returned to the palace. No one recognized him, but the birds began to sing, the horses ate grass again, and the beautiful girl stopped crying. The king asked in surprise, "What does this mean?" The princess replied, "I Don and number 39's know that either. Before I was very sad, but now I feel happy. I have a hunch that my fiancé has returned." The princess told the king the whole story, even though her other brothers threatened to kill her if she revealed everything. The king ordered the palace to present himself. The youngest prince, dressed in tattered clothes and looking like a poor man, also came, but the princess immediately recognized him and ran over to hug and kiss him. The two evil-minded brothers were captured and executed. The youngest prince and princess married each other and inherited the throne. But what about the poor fox? A long time later, the prince once went into the forest again. He met the fox. The fox said, "You have what you wanted, but my suffering is not over yet. It is in your power to free me." The fox begged him, even if he shot it to death, cut off its head, or removed its claws. The prince removed the curse. The fox turned into a human again. It was no one else, but the brother of the beautiful princess. From then on they lived their entire lives in prosperity and happiness. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.